Rama One more time, please. Hare Rama Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Nikai Prachanda ki Jai. Ram Devani ki Jai. Guru
Slightly different program. So we'll have offering a Guru Puja to Srila Prabhupada at this time. So if everyone can stand.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna, everybody. Can everybody come closer? Closer. Getting warmer, getting warmer, getting warmer. Thank you so much. So, for those who are new, we're going to be singing a song called Guru Vandana. It's the words are right here by the door, by that nice, handsome man there. And then, so it's call and response. So I'll sing and then everyone sings after. Okay. Jaya Prabhu Pada Jaya Prabhu Pada Jaya Prabhu Pada Jaya Prabhu Pada Krishna Bhakti Oja Oite Krishna Bhakti Oja Oite Krishna Bhakti Oja Oite Krishna Bhakti Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Nayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa Prabhupada Hospitera Sata, Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti, Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Se Kaho, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur, Bhaktivinoda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath, Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki, the Holy Appearance Day of Lord Shri Ramachandra Ki, Shri Ramanomi Ki, Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, write it down. Shri Shri Nitai Maya Prachandra Ki, ISKCON Cape Town Yatra Ki, Shri Ram Nami Maha Mahotsava Ki, Nitai Gaur Prem, all glories to Son, all glories to Son, all glories to the Son, all glories to Shri Guru and Go Number, glories to Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for that ecstatic kirtan, Vedanta Prabhu. If we could have some help to sit up for the asses, then we'll have a class now. thank you all so much. We'd love to welcome His Grace Medhavi Prabhu, who is the senior most devotee in our yatra and a disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Medhavi Prabhu's classes are very enlivening and very enlightening. So please keep your ears and hearts open and feel free to ask any questions if that's allowed and if there's time. And after the class, we'll proceed to a prasadam feast outside these doors. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for coming. I see a lot of new young faces. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we're going to sing a little bit more. There's one song that's in glorification of Lord Ramachandra. So, unfortunately, this song has been kind of tampered with by unscrupulous people. So we only generally sing one or two of the verses. And we don't have song sheets. So you're going to have to wing it. It's very
simple. I think half of the audience already knows it.
Yeah.
Ragapati Raga Raja Ram. You know, yeah? Yeah, I think maybe.
Okay. Right.
Everybody.
Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sita Pavan Sitaram Ragupati Raghavajana Atita Pavan Sitaram Ragupati Raghavajana Atita Pavan Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Atita Pavan Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Atita Pavan Sitaram Ragupati Rajana Patita Pavana Chitana Ragupati Rajana Patita Pavana Chitana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Holy Prince, Lord Shri Rama So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Dharma karma, Chame divyam, evam yodeti tattva, chakra devam punarjanma, naiti mam eti sorjanma. The one who can understand the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not return to this world of birth and death, but attains to my eternal abode. So, hearing about that personality of Godhead is the way that our consciousness is purified from materialistic engagement. We are all locked in to materialistic life and materialistic understanding. And it's only by sound, transcendental sound, that our confusion and ignorance can be cleared. So, Krishna, he comes himself. He comes in his various incarnations. He sends the Holy Scriptures. He sends his pure devotees. And he's sitting in our hearts. So it's not like he's doing something to help us get out of our miserable condition of life. In the Vedic understanding, there are 4 pillars. There are 4 pillars of a godly life. Truthfulness, austerity, mercy, and cleanliness. Okay, Hare Krishna. I did take 2 baths today. Anyway. So, in this age, in other ages, from the Satya Golden Age to the Treta, which is when Lord Ramachandra appeared a few million years ago, to the Dwarpa, and we are presently in the Kali Yuga, those godly qualities diminish. So much so that in this age of Kali, there's only a tiny bit one of those religious pillars. And that is truthfulness. Truthfulness. Can we admit to ourselves that we're not happy? Can we admit to ourselves that we're suffering like anything? Can we admit that despite all of our attempts, we really don't seem to be getting any closer to what we call happiness? So the Vedic literatures explain that very clearly, that you can take a fish out of water and you can put him in, what do we say, Bishop's Court or Reservoir Hills or some nice big fancy house. But he's going to be miserable because he's out of his element, his natural element, which is the water. So outside of the water, the fish cannot be happy. And we are also, we're spiritual beings. We're not these bodies, even though we have different kinds of bodies. In the Vedic literature, 8,400,000 different species. Millions and millions of species of life. And within those species is the soul. That's the same as the one that I have and the one that you have. It's individual. Mamai vamso jiva loke jiva loka sanatana manatsastan indriyani prakriti stani karsiti. That the living entities in this material world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. So we are eternal, and we're parts of Krishna. Individual, separated, individual parts. And that individuality is based on a unique relationship that we have with the Supreme Lord in one of his many incarnations. So Krishna has unlimited incarnations, just as the waves are coming in at Camps Bay. You can go there with a calculator and count, but they won't stop coming. They're unlimited. So Krishna's incarnations are as unlimited as the waves of the sea. But individually, we all have a special, unique relationship with Krishna. And so the best thing for us is to hear about Krishna and want to go back to him instead of staying here and loitering and rotting in this material world. We have a prison, Polesmore, down here. And they're political prisoners. And they have a TV and a stereo system. They probably have a fridge. They can just go and get whatever they want to drink. We won't mention. Anytime they want. And then there are not political prisoners who are stuffed in a cell and treated cruelly by the guards, because that's what prison means. Now, the political prisoner may have a better standard of quote-unquote living, but he's still in prison. His freedom is restricted. So we may think that this material world isn't such a bad place, but actually we are stuck here, and we are chained by birth, death, old age, and disease. So the Vedic culture and the Vedic understanding is based at helping us get out of this material world and go back to Krishna, to an eternal world full of knowledge and bliss. So Krishna comes. Pratranaya sadhanam vinashaya traduskitam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. He comes to protect the pious, the sadhus, and saints, and good people. And he comes to destroy duskritis. The duskritis are the demons. The demons. So there are such persons. In previous ages, they were gigantic demons. Our present demons wouldn't be much, even though they cause so much trouble. But Krishna appears to protect his devotees and to vanquish the demons, as well as to reestablish the principles of good and godly living. So Lord Ramachandra has come. He had different purposes to accomplish in his incarnation. He had to beat up, dispose of a big demon who was troubling even the demigods, who were residents of the higher and heavenly planets. So that was one purpose. The second purpose was to benedict his devotees, to show the wonderful pastimes of associating with God, who is the supreme person. We're persons. Not the greatest, but we're persons. But Krishna is that person who has all fame, all wealth, all knowledge, all renunciation. He is that supreme personality. Everyone is looking for someone who can love them. And Krishna, but it's hard when you don't know someone. How can you love them? If you love the fish and give him a Mercedes-Benz AMG, you may think that's good. But it's not good for the fish. It's because we don't know exactly what other people require and need. But Krishna knows us perfectly. And therefore he's the person who can love us perfectly. And he's only asking for one little thing. And that is our love. Our love. If we want, we have it. We have it. I don't know if anybody knows of a person called George Harrison. Maybe there are a few people who know George Harrison. He wrote a song called While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And he mentioned a verse, he says, I don't know how, no one told you how to unfold your love. And, I mean, George Harrison is a nice person. He met our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. He donated a 56-room manor just outside of London, which is our, practically speaking, headquarters for most of Europe. He's a very nice person. But the words in that song are very provocative, that we don't know how to unfold our love. We love our parents, kind of. We love our brothers and sisters, kind of. We love our friends, kind of. But, we don't know how to really love until we meet that person who is worthy of our love. So how do we find out? We have to hear. We have to hear Krishna's pastimes, Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. So he came. And this was again in the Treta Yuga millions of years ago. But his pastime was very wonderful. His pastime was very wonderful. And we'll give a general rundown for some of our new guests. Lord Ramachandra's father was Dasarath. And Dasarath was a great king, a great emperor, and he was nicely running his kingdom, and the citizens were all very, very happy. They were all very happy. He treated them like his own children. But he didn't have any children. He had wives, and obviously he was trying, but nothing was coming. So one great sage came by. The sages are always traveling to try to help people. And they asked him, well, what is the problem? You have a wonderful kingdom, you're treating your citizens so nicely. but personally you don't appear to be fully satisfied. He says, well, I don't have a son to pass on my kingdom to. The dynasty will end with me. So these saintly persons arranged for a sacrifice, a yagya, which is a particular performance in which different items are offered into a sacrificial fire for the pleasure of elevated personalities and ultimately for the Supreme Personality of God. And from that fire came a person carrying a golden jug. And he explained to Dasarath, you take this, you give it to your wives, and you'll have sons, you'll have children. So he did, and they did. And they were Lord Ramachandra, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna, 4 sons. So King Dasarath was over the moon, as we say. He was so very happy. And the years went by, but Ram was head and shoulders over his father's favorite because he was imbued with all good qualities. He was beautiful, he was kind, he was knowledgeable. He knew exactly how to act in particular times and circumstances. And all of his brothers also loved him, and they were also wonderful personalities. So King Dasarath was deciding to install Ramachandra as his heir, as the Yuvraj, which means that he would take over the kingdom when Dasarath retired or died. So it was all being set up, and everyone was happy. But there was someone who was not happy. And this person's name was Mantra. And the Sanskrit word mantra means to churn. So she had to mess up the situation. She was formerly an apsara, which means an angel in the heavenly planets. But she had a particular job to mess things up in a certain way that Lord Ramachandra would go to the forest. His wife would be kidnapped by this big demon, Ravana, and Lord Ramachandra would personally have to go and dispose of him and clear up the universe. So that whole thing happens. And it raises some very, very interesting questions. Lord Ram, he's ordered to go to the forest by his father because the instance happened when King Dasarath was fighting in a battle and his wife was accompanying him. They were Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas means they were warriors. Even the women were warriors. So Dasarath was wounded, unconscious, and she drove the chariot away from the battle so that he could be revived. And ultimately then he went and fought and won. But because she had saved his life, he said he wanted to give her special favors. And she said, well, thank you, I accept, but I'll take them later at another time. So that time came just before Ram was to be installed, coronated as the king. And she asked, or she hounded her mistress, Kaikeyi, who was young and beautiful, and young and beautiful means you're the favorite wife. And the others maybe personality and everything, but sometimes men, a lot of times, it's just a matter of she's good looking. She's good looking. So she was very attractive, and she was his favorite. So Mantara said, well, your son Bharat, if Ram is installed, then Bharat loses out. And Kaikeyi was also in love with Ram like everyone in the kingdom. And said, no, that's fine. That's fine. And he said, well, if Ram is installed, then his son will become the king afterwards. And said, well, that's fine. I'm sure his son will be a good person. So then Mantra, through her last and most effective way, she says, well, if Ram is installed, then his mother, you will have to bow and scrape to his mother. And that was the tipping point. The tipping point. So then, she took the advantage of these boons. She went to her husband and said, I want my son Bharat installed as king. And Ram, go to the forest for 14 years. Everyone loved Ram, so if he stuck around, they'd follow him anyway. So then he was banished to the forest for 14 years. Now the question is, if he's God, if he actually is God, then can he do something about this? Lord Ram, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's the fact of the Ramayana, which is the history of Lord Ramachandra's activities. But it takes time for us to realize, it percolates, act like a person who undergoes the vagaries of material life. He's coming from a rich family, the royal family. Now he's got nothing. He's just walking in the forest. He doesn't even have a place to live, a place to sleep. He's got nothing. And merciful, lovely Sita, she agrees to go. There was no question that she wasn't going to go with him. And she was a princess. She'd never been in a forest. What to say? Slept on the ground. So we can focus on the qualities and characteristics and be attracted to develop a strong, long-lasting relationship. And in the Vedic culture, this is called sambandha. Sambandha means establishing the relationship. So first thing, we think we're the body, which we're not, we're souls. The second thing is we're God's eternal servants. That's who we are. It gets more developed as we perform devotional service or bhakti yoga. It gets more involved. But when Rama is ordered to go to the forest, he appears to be totally helpless. Why he cannot stop this? So it's the difference between karma and lila. We have karma. We performed a particular activity, we get a result. And the Bhagavad Gita explains, Ishtam Ishram Cha Trivida Karmana Palam. There are three kinds of reactions to activities. There's good ones, there's bad ones, and there's mixed, like that. But they accrue after death. There's no real such thing as instant karma, no matter what John Lennon has to say. It accumulates over time. So one may be thinking, well, what's Ram's karma? But he doesn't have karma. He has lila. Lila means his own individual personal activities that are a part of his plan of enjoyment. So he's going to the forest and he's happy. In one interesting presentation by one of our acharyas, it talks about Lakshmi Devi. I think most of our Indian persons and devotees know who Mother Lakshmi is. She is the constant association of the Lord. She massages his feet eternally, practically speaking. So she's complaining to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu, what you complain about? You're in my association 24/7. And I say, well, you know, when I've got this big snake over my head with all these heads staring at us, there's Anantashesha, then it's not very intimate. So she asked for a little better situation. So even in Ayodhya, all the citizens love Ram. They want to associate with Ram. So the arrangement is made. So we can see that it's a Leela that's unfolding. And it's an amazing Leela where Sita is kidnapped. Ram, there's a demon, and he's what is the word? He is posing as a deer, a golden deer, and prancing before Sita in the forest. So Sita tells Ram, "Get me that deer. You know, there's not much going on here. Give me the deer." So Ram and Lakshman, they're a little confused, concerned. There's something going on here. But she demands. And so Ram goes and tries to catch the deer. And then after some time they hear Ram yelling, "Help! Help! Lakshman!" Like that. And Sita hears it. They hear it. Says, "You must go help Ram." And Lakshman says, "No, Ram doesn't need anybody's help. He's okay." And she keeps pushing him that you have to go. "Why won't you go?" "Oh, you have designs on me." And Lakshman is so distressed by that idea that he immediately goes and he puts a secure mantra circle around Sita and tells her, "Don't go outside of this." So while he is trying to find Ram, this Brahmana, this sage comes by. And he's begging for some food. She's raised in a culture, saintly persons you treat nicely. So then she gets something to give him, some fruits or roots. And he's saying, "Well, and she lays it right there outside. And he says, No, I can't pick it up. You have to come out and give it to me." So then, being good-hearted, she does so. He grabs her and he's off on his chariot to Lanka, Ceylon, Sri Lanka at present. So Ram and Lakshman don't know what's happened. And eventually it comes out that she's been stolen by this demon. And then the whole rest of the Ramayana is about Lord Ramachandra gathering an army, but not your normal army. It's an army of monkeys and bears. They were called Vanaras. They're kind of, well, who do we have? Who do we compare in modern folklore, television lore? Do we have any monkeys that talk and bears that talk? Anyway, Vanaras, they have that Kimpurushas, they're called. They have a form like a monkey, but they have human-like traits. And they also have some very magical powers as well. So Lord Rama enlists them in his mission to find Sita, and especially one particular personality. His name is Hanuman. And he is the greatest servant of Lord Ramachandra because he jumped all the way from India to Sri Lanka. One jump. And he found Sita. And then he created quite a disturbance in Lanka and came back and told Ram, "This is where she is." So it's a magical pastime, but it's all true. And it's all part of the Lord's Leela, which means his attempt to get us to turn from materialistic life to the spiritual existence. So the more we read and hear about Krishna, Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimhadev, the different incarnations of Krishna, the more we hear about them and their amazing pastimes, then the more we have a choice. We can choose between continuing in a miserable material life, which is at sometimes maybe okay. In the Vedic understanding, what goes as happiness in the material world is the cessation of distress. So if we're able to avoid distress, that's happiness. That's not happiness, that's avoiding distress. An example is given in England in the Middle Ages. When people were punished, they would be taken out into the river. And they'd be strapped to this chair, and they would be swung out with a pole over the river and doused. What is it? Doused in the ocean, in the river. Maybe the Thames was cleaner back then. So they didn't get acid burns. But they would be held down practically till they drowned, till the bubbles started coming up. And then they would pull them up, and they would take a breath. That's the breath. But that breath feels so wonderful. It's just one breath. But when you don't have any, then it's pretty good. So that's materialistic existence. It's just the cessation of misery. Whereas real happiness means a full life of relationship with the Supreme and his servants. So, in one way, we're all trying to go there. But we need each other's help. We need each other's help. We're all on different levels. So Krishna appreciates. In fact, there's a famous verse that Krishna says, I'm not in Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is the spiritual. Vaikuntha, Vai means without anxiety. In the spiritual world, anxiety is conspicuous by its absence. And the verse says, I'm not in Vaikuntha. People are trying to get to the spiritual world to see God. But he's saying, no, I'm not there. I'm not there. The yogis are meditating within their hearts with great austerities. And he says, Yoginam Hridayeshu Va. I'm not in the heart of the yogis either. He said, where am I? Where are you? Where can you be found? Yatra Gayanti Madbhakta. Where my devotees are chanting and hearing my glories. So, Krishna's here. He's here. He can be individually with us as well, but when we gather together to hear about Krishna, he's here. He's really here. So, we encourage everyone to take that opportunity whenever there's a chance. Of course, one can always associate with Krishna and the pure devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the literary incarnation of God. So that's possible. But when there's an opportunity to come together with like-minded persons, then we can develop those qualities that allow us to leave this world. No choice. There's a nice verse in the Bhagavad Gita. It says that the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So, we're not going to have a bride tonight. We don't have any castle laga here. We're not going to do those things. We're not drinking and smoking. We're going to take some nice food, very nice. My wife cooked it. They tricked her. She hasn't cooked here for years, but because it's kind of the anniversary of my initiation by Srila Prabhupada in 1975, I'm Nomi, then she got inspired. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So anyway, among other things, Krishna consciousness means coming together, hearing about the wonderful pastimes of Krishna, and discussing. I mean, we're saying things, the book is saying things. I don't believe that. Well, don't believe it, that's fine. Ask a question. If you don't believe it, if you doubt, fine. We have the answers. Don't think, I mean, everyone is a student, you're taught, don't ask questions. Because this guy doesn't know the answer, and what he's going to do, he's going to, what do they call, gaslight? Or something like that. He's going to try to embarrass you for asking the question that he has no idea. Because he doesn't want to say, well, I don't know. And he's getting paid for it. But in spiritual life, one should ask, one should inquire. One should inquire. Humbly and submissively, not challengingly. And the answers are there. The answers are there for thousands of years. So it's something to investigate. We have our materialistic existence that we've kind of woken up and found ourselves in, but we still have to take care of our main business, which is our spiritual life. Because if we can remember, as the first verse we said, if we can remember Krishna at the time we're leaving this body, we don't have to come back here. We can go to Him. And that is the real enjoyment. So, unfortunately, we didn't get into too many pastimes. Maybe I'll just do one at the expense of going way over time. But Ravana, he had brothers. They were mostly demons. But he had one brother, his name was Vibhishana. And Vibhishana was pledged to righteousness. I mean, you can be a righteous demon. You can be a righteous demon. And he disapproved of the big mess that the demons had gotten into because Ravana had stolen Lord Ram's wife. He was encouraging, give her back, give her back. And practically, the war went on for months, days and months. And up till the last day, Lord Ramachandra was willing that if you give Sita back, it's okay, everything's fine. We're good buddies. Like that. And Ravana wouldn't do. So Vibhishana, when he encouraged his brother got upset. If you give good advice to a fool, they'll get angry. That's what happens. Maybe you have experience. So he decided he would surrender to Lord Ram. So he had some interesting abilities as well. So then he kind of levitated over to where Lord Ramachandra was. And they were kind of hanging in the sky. And Sugriva, who was one of the commanders of the Vanaras, he said, that's Vibhishana. He's a demon. And he's a spy. Don't trust him. Best demon is a dead demon. So, but Vibhishana, he approached Lord Ram. He explained who he was and what his move was, that he wanted to surrender to Lord Ram. And Sugriva kept on telling him, don't trust him, he's a demon. You should get rid of him. I'll kill him right now, for free. You don't have to pay, like in the Cape Flats. You don't have to pay a 2-liter bottle of Coke to kill somebody. But he spoke a wonderful verse. It's quoted in the Madhya Lila of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 22, verse 34. And I wanted, though I wasn't prepared, for Mother Premalila to put it on the board and we could recite it. But maybe we can recite the words anyway. If you can repeat. Sakrid. Eva. Prapano. Yes. Tava. Asmiti. Cha. Yachate. Abhayam. Sarvada. Tasmai. Dadami. Etad. Ratam. Mama. Lord Ramachandra said, it is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, quote, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he or she will remain always safe from that time on. So Lord Ramachandra, he told Sugriva, he gave this verse, or he spoke these words. And that, to myself, is the most important thing of this day, because on the day of the appearance of the Lord and his various incarnations, we can actually make a direct plea to them. Usually, the class is before the kirtan. So while the kirtan's going on, you can be praying and dancing and chanting. But, yes, maybe next year. But the idea is that Lord Ramachandra is all-powerful. And if we desire, he can protect us. He can deliver us. He can take us back. It's simply a matter of taking the matter very seriously. We are doing the Bhakti Vaibhava course, and there was a verse we had to learn. We had to learn 12 verses for each canto. Shridvatas Shradaya Nityam, Grindatas Cha Sochestitam, Kalmena Nati Dirgena, Bhagavan Vishate Vidhi. Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam, this book, or Bhagavad Gita, regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna or Sri Ramachandra, manifested in their hearts within a short time. So it happens. It happens. Today is the 48th anniversary of my initiation by Srila Prabhupada. So I'm not saying anything, but I'm still here. And there are a lot of other devotees who are still here, still chanting Hare Krishna, living a simple life, not getting paid for it, but are pursuing a spiritual life and are feeling satisfied in feeling that, yes, let's go on. Let's keep going. And that we're seeing with other devotees, sincere souls, and they could be 18 years old. It doesn't mean you have to be 72 years old to have some kind of spiritual experience. Many people are born now. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that the unsuccessful yogi from a previous life, they'll be born in a righteous, a pious, or a wealthy family. And then they can continue with their spiritual journey. So many of you are there. And the only question is, will you take advantage of the opportunity now to make further progress? Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Shri Lord Ramachandra ki. Ram Nomi Maha Mahotsava ki. Nitai Gaur. Hare Krishna. So, the next part of the program is heading out that door, getting in line. There's plenty of prasadam. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and you'll taste the difference. There is a prayer, another prayer. Mahavasari Govinde, Rama Brahmi Vaishnave, Swapa Punyam Samraja, Vishwasanaiva Jayate, Hari Rabbi Jajao, Yojandriya Teka, Shive Pile Visaya Savare, Dhamajay Jayati, Loba Moisa Dhamati, Taketa Katina Samsare, Krishna Buddha Doyamo, Kori Bari Jiva Joy, Saprasad Anadiloba, Sinamrita Pao, Radha Krishna Gunagan, Prematako Chaitanya Nitaya, Jani Mai Jani Tai, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasudhi Gaura Bhaktavinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Bhagavad Prasadam ki, Shri Prabhupada ki.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Just before you go, we'd like to thank all the sponsors that made this festival possible. Every devotee who did decorations, cooked a wonderful feast, did a lot of pujari service, did preaching, kirtan, and attending this festival. Thank you all very much. Can we shout one big Hare Krishna on 3? 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna! We may as well finish it, right? Hare Krishna!